We're live. Guys, what's going on, everybody? It is Friday, 11 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. It's Thursday night in America, wherever you're tuning in. I say welcome. If you guys haven't already, joined our JSB Discord. The link is pinned here, right there in the comment section below. It's a couple bucks a month. Join our Discord. Johnny Says Boxing. With me today is one of the Sharps from our JSB Discord. You guys will recognize him. He's been on the stream a couple times before. This is our first scheduled stream together. This is Julius. He gives your record, especially recently, speaks for itself. So Julius, thank you for doing this with me, and I'm sure a lot of the guys are gonna get a lot of value out of this stream having you on.
Mm-hmm.
So just in the last few weeks, man, maybe talk about some of the, because I could brag about you. I could talk about maybe just last week. There was a specific fight where a lot of the boys, 70% of the people I polled on Instagram, 70% of the people I polled on YouTube, all were picking Andy to win that fight. And you popped on one of my live streams last week. We're on for about 20 minutes, and you put out this perfect game plan for Ray. It's exactly what we saw with Morataya. So everybody in our Discord will know you. Anyone who's tuning in, this guy, I call you Mr. Sharp. So what's going on? So maybe, and then, we could take everyone's questions, but maybe talk about your process. What about the Morataya matchup did you really like?
Well, one thing about me and my strategy that separates a lot of people is that I've created my own database spanning from 2019 to 2025. I've recorded every boxing match with odds in North America and Europe. So, at this point, I kind of notice patterns. This is my process. Boxing has not changed. The last time boxing changed is when they took away the 15 round fight, but boxing repeats itself. The same patterns keep repeating themselves. Because, like I said, one thing about Andy versus Murata is that the trend. See, a lot of people wouldn't know this, but we just go back. I'm gonna go back last 6 months. You got Badegaziev losing to Jazza Dickens, a pushed amateur. We had Fraser Clark got demolished by Fabio. We have Pat McCormick losing to Kona Walker. We have Yankee Rivera versus what's his name? Bamba, Jonathan Gonzalez. We have Alex Winwood versus Knockout Freshmart. That's one a lot of people don't know about. That happened last 6 months as well.
Australia. Winwood's an Aussie. Winwood was a highly ranked. They thought he was going to win. That's one that nobody talks about. It's a good call.
If you would not have known this if you would, like what I've been doing, recording fights. So I'm starting to pick up patterns.
Yep.
For instance, on last week, a pattern that I'm starting to pick up on that I've noticed is not all the time, but when the value is there. When you have a favorite who's age 30 years old, 30 to 33, early 30s, versus a fighter with some credibility. I'm not talking about a journeyman. I'm talking about somebody with international amateur experience, a young person, and it going the distance is plus 300, plus 400. Let's look at this trend. Now you with Inoue versus MJ. Now you with Inoue versus David
Martinez.
what's his name? David
Are you talking about Puma?
Uh not Puma, I'm talking about Naiwa versus that recent Mexican he fought. That one. Junto versus, no, he's not 30, but Javante Davis versus Lamont Roach plus 700 to go the distance. Just the 2 weeks ago, I took Curiel by decision. That was plus 400. He was in his 30, 31. That trend, not saying it's a lot, but at the value, if you're going to tell me that the fight going to just the distance is plus 400, 500, Man, we're gonna have to sprinkle some on that. That's something to look at. Over, I mean, throughout the time, you're gonna win more because it's gonna be plus 600, plus 500.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. There's a few that I like this weekend. I already put them up in the disc. I put them up in the Patreon. I put them up in the Discord. Excuse me. I like Shakur. That fight to go the distance, and I also there's a few. But yeah. So speaking about this week, there's so many fights. Is there what's the fight you're most looking forward to watch as a fan? And then we could break it. We could feature it.
um, well, we'll go. Okay, we'll start with the early fight. You know, it's basically the European fight. We'll go European fight.
Murder versus
Murder.
Kelly.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm really
I'll bring the odds up, and then we could start there. All right. So yeah, this is guys, wherever you are in the world, the book I'm using is called Sports Bet. It's Australia. I do recommend the Aussies when you place your bets though to use Bet365 so in case there's a draw your bets don't get washed. Sports Bet the draw, you lose your ticket. I use it to live stream just because the interface and the accessibility. So I'll zoom in. Currently on the money line, Murtazaev is $1.32 favorite, 100 on him gets you your money back plus 32 bucks. Josh is still a pretty significant dog, not quite 3-1, 275, 100 on him gets your money back plus 275 bucks. And the decision both ways, there's value there. There's value in the dog. What do you like here?
let's just start with some qualitative information. Not talking about data. Man, Josh Kelly hands too low, man. He it's like he tying his shoes. He just his hands are just on the ground. He has no his hands are not involved with defense. They are completely by his waist. That's just and if you look at his he hasn't fought a power puncher. He has not fought a power puncher since Avanesian, and he gets hit a lot. If you watch the Davis fight, he get hit. It's just that Davis was you could say a novice. He started boxing when he was 21, started professional boxing in his 20s, had no amateur career. Uh, a guy like Bachram, he's gonna land. Everybody else has. He's gonna land. And when he lands, it's gonna be over with.
You think so? See, my take on that is a guy with Bakr Murtazaev. I mean, it's going to be over with based on what? I mean, this is a guy that, you know, he fought well for 7 minutes against a very, I mean, we could psychoanalyze the Tim Tszyu performance all we want. I know half the world thinks that he's the boogeyman because of the Tim Tszyu performance, and there's a small section of the population, myself included, that I'm not impressed with Murtazaev. At 33 years old, I mean, people are calling his. There's a lot of things he does that are sloppy. And you're talking about Josh's hands are down. So he's a reflex fighter. He uses that for range, speed, and distance. Now, is he the same guy who fought Ray Robinson? Because did you watch the Ray fight? The Ray fight, it's he thinks he's Prince Nassim Ahmed against Ray, and then he got touched in that. He gets touched a lot, right? And then watch the Ava fight. The version, I'm talking technically, the version now from Ray to Ava, Ava to Troy Williamson, Troy Williamson to Ishmael. What I'm seeing is a guy who is learning on the go, went from a flashy reflex guy who worked. That stuff looks great against lower competition, right? That shit made him go viral in 2016 with the Olympics and all that good stuff. I see a guy at 30, 31 years old who's more athletic. I see he has better hand speed. I think he punches better than people think. I give him the footwork advantage, better feet. I look at Murtazaev, man. You know, people love his lead hook. The lead hook is good. The feet, I'm not impressed with him, man. So when we're talking value plays, I put Josh in earlier in the week. I think I got him at plus, like a little bit plus 300 instead of plus 275. I think Josh is going to surprise people, man. I think he can win on points here. The fight's in Newcastle. Murtazaev has fought 5 or 6 times in 6 years. He goes life and death with Jack Colque. People love that win. I don't love that win. Jack Colque, 5'7", you know, and he Murtazaev gets hit a lot. And so I'm banking. Now, look, he's a dog for a reason, Julius. We know that. And this is what we do here. Dog for a reason. I have no problem favoring and minding this dog. I think Josh is super live. I think his body punching, he's going to have to control the range. He's definitely, like you said, going to have to be way more defensive minded. But I mean, the Troy Williamson win as of late has aged well, considering what Troy did against Callum. Troy's never been stopped. And I don't know, man. I don't see a lot on Murtazalev's resume that screams boogeyman to me. If you literally remove 7 minutes against Tim Zoo, this is the same Tim Zoo, Julius, who got dropped against Terrell Gachet. Terrell Gachet, by no means, is a big puncher. Yeah, Tim went on to win that fight. So I don't know. If I'm playing maths and I'm looking for value, I can make an argument for Josh. And when you're giving me him at plus money, I'm gonna pick that argument rather than the Murtazalov argument.
Um, and it's not really, to be honest with you, um, Murtazaliev, his attributes, his resume is not really what's pushing me. It's the lack of in Josh Kelly. Really, Kelly is, to me, his ship has sailed. Because I'm saying they've been feeding him a steady diet in Britain of to me just low level operators, a lot of South Americans, guys without the talent based of Bakram. I just think Bakram's a world class fighter. There's many world class fighters. I don't think he's a boogeyman. I don't think because you're a champion, you're a boogeyman. I don't. I think Bakram could lose to other champions. I think Zayas could beat him. I think like this. I think Xander Zayed could pull off the strategy you think Kelly can do. See, I think
That, I,
that's
yeah, go.
yeah.
It's a good. No, go on. I like where you're going with that.
I don't believe Kelly can pull off what you're saying. I don't. He has not shown the stamina, the durability at world class level. Every time he stepped up, because I said it, at 154, he hasn't had a step up. Troy Williamson at 154 lost to Ishmael Davis. So I'm saying he lost to everybody. At 168, yes, he's a different fighter, two weight classes. He was that win to me. They always speak of that win, but that's not everybody beat him at. I don't think Cayman Ajarko is a world class fighter. He beat Troy Williamson. To me, Troy Williamson at 154 was strictly a journeyman trying to just survive.
What do
And
you like about Murtazalov's resume then? This is Murtazalov's resume, and he fought Jorge Fortea. I'm pretty sure that was in 2020, maybe even
mhm.
before that. So he fights Zoo, 7 minutes of Zoo. What do you like there?
What I like about Murtazaliev,
When
I
was
just
his
think,
so you're taking his step up with Tim Zoo and you're valuing that more over than any one Josh has fought.
I mean, in the Cold K fight, what the last two fights have shown me is that he possesses world class. He just, to me, Murtaza is not nothing special. He just has world class power from the first round to the last round. What he's shown, he can knock out a world class operator from the first round to the 12th round. That's what he's shown. And he's shown that he's shown durability. He wasn't put down in any of these fights. Yes, he was hit. But that's happened every fight. I'm really looking at how he took the fight. He was able to go two championship fights and stop both opponents. And I don't believe a fighter like Kelly can go 12 rounds with world class punching power. You put it like that. I don't think he can. I think Zez will stop Kelly. I think every top operator, I think Conwell could stop Kelly's his game plan, to me, his ship is to say that your hands can be that low without devastating punching power. Because his operators are not going to respect him, and his hands are going to be low. He's going to get
So
hit to the body and head.
So you're saying though that Bakr Murtazaev has proven at the world level that he carries power late. You're saying Jack Holke at 37 years old when they fought was a world level guy because there's nobody else that he knocked out at the world level late. So it must be the Kolke fight. I don't, bro. I don't look. I agree with the power. The power's there. He's gritty. He's dirty. I just think Josh is better than people think he's. I think Josh gets a lot of heat for, um, what the Evanesian, how that ended. But I mean, what has he done since? He rebuilt himself. Hasn't lost since '54. Once again, what we're doing is looking for value here, right? Murtazaev is $1.33. I think, and this is my whole point here. it's not like our intention here is to give people our picks, right? Looking for value. So once again, as a value shot, and I think he could win, and I really think Josh will, I could see him winning a decision here. I just think there's a lot of basicness to Murtazilev's approach. Do you think Josh is going to stand in front of him and just get hit like Tim Tszyu did?
And that's why, okay, you brought up a great point. You remember I took Agit 1 through 6. Once I'm thinking, what I'm thinking
We
about,
took.
yeah, we
I took
took,
it to. We took. Yeah, come on.
teamwork. What I'm
Yep,
thinking now
teamwork,
is
baby. Yeah.
I'm taking when he gonna stop him, and I'm
Oh,
looking at. I'm saying I'm back and forth. Is Bach 1 to 6, Bach 7 to 12? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really feeling Bach 1 to 6. I really think it's gonna get to him early. I think it's gonna be to me, I would say Bachram to me. This is a great comparison. You can say it's great. I think he's like a poor man's Kovalev. How his structure is, how he's really straight with his punches. He got kind of long arms, kind of lanky. He's not like
mm,
not he's not impressive physique. But I think he just you know what Kovalev lost a couple times. I think like I said, I think many probably would stop him, but under 10 and a half. Maybe play with like under 8, 9. If you got books like that, under 7.5. I think he stops him mid round. I think 1 to 6. If I say the value play, 1 to 6.
nice. Let me read a comment from one of our JSB insiders, Only GK. What up, boys? Look at Bachram versus Fortea and Venezuela Jr. Both of them stopped by Xander in round 5, plus stopped multiple times. Murtazilov went 12 rounds with both guys. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm saying that I don't, but no, yeah, I don't. This is not about Bakram. So this is all about Kelly. I don't think Kelly is a
Okay.
world class fighter.
Fair point. No, 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 no. Very, very, very valid point. And I do have so full transparency. All the boys in the Discord know my bets because that's what we do in there. I have Josh Kelly on one ticket, right? And this is a lot of the boys who come to the channel if they're learning how to bet. We talk a lot about strategy, right? It's not like I'm putting Josh on all 7 of my tickets and like we'd be fanboying. I have him on one ticket as my underdog of the week. If he loses, that's fine. If he wins, I look good. But we live to play another day, so it's not like I'm going super heavy. It's not like I'm all invested on him. We're leaning on strategy, right? You're leaning. It's more about Kelly, and it's kind of what I said about Bakram. The reason why I'm taking, I didn't sort of rate the Tim Tszyu performance is because I thought I learned more about Tim Tszyu than I did about Bakram in that performance. So, and this is our favorite thing about breaking guys down, breaking fights down is there's multiple coins to look at, right? So uh, we got this fight. You like Bakram. You like the under, which I do like as a hedge bet. I'm probably going to play a knockdown prop. If I do, I'll post. I'll probably play some sort of like knockdown over and under. Well, I could see people getting dropped, maybe a knee sort of thing. Also, live betting, guys. If you guys are into live betting, Josh is known for jumping out, with that reflex style. I could see Murtazilov, maybe Josh up 2-1, maybe, in the perfect world, 3-1 for you guys going for Murta. If you're going for Murtazilov and Josh jumps out to 3-1, those odds will shift. So, and then you would be banking on Josh fading, which we've seen him do before. And then you could get Murta at way better odds than 132. So that's just something for both sides. I'm standing on the hill. I got Kelly here. How about people are asking about Teo and Shakur? What's your thoughts there?
Um, you know, the only thing I think about is say, okay, Tio, he could possibly try to make it somewhat like the De Los Santos fight. Well, like I said, well, they really nobody's throwing punches. And it's the score will be so tight. So I mean, you know, no, Shakur by decision. I feel like it's the best play.
That's my play.
Um,
Yep. I like that Shakur on points by decision. 52% return right now.
um,
You know what I'm
yeah, that's
hoping for? I'm hoping for a Abdullah Mason versus Sam Noakes. I'm hoping for both guys standing like a chess match in the pocket. But Teo, I think what's going to happen is Teofimo, he's going to try to play that game with Shakur. Shakur's timing, catching, countering in the pocket, I think then that's going to force Teo on his bike. I've said this all week. People act like Shakur is the one who's going to go on his bike. That's not how he fights. And I think Teofimo will be the one using the entire ring, getting beat in the pocket when they're catching and shooting, and then as he's using the ring, trying to showboat. So I do like Shakur on points. Like I look at Teofimo Lopez is a great athlete, great competitor. Obviously, the psychological issues we've seen come and go. I've seen him have good performances. I've seen him have head scratchers. Sandor Martin, I don't think he looked too good against Steve Claggett. There's a lot of fights. He looked great against Josh Taylor. That's a good win. I like where Shakur's trending. You know what I'm saying? I like the Zepeda win. I like how he stopped Padley. I like how he negated De Los Santos' offense with injured hands. And I like him at 140. Looking at how he filled out, you can't really see a lot of fight, him coming up from 26, looking at him on the scales with a real legit, all right, that dude has an 8-pack. Shakur looked like that. And this is fight week. So I wonder what he's walking around at. Probably 147, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna give like it's a quick little pick that I've been kind of low key thinking about. Man, I could see Miller 1 to 3, 1 to 2.
Oh,
Like I could see that ending early. Like I mean, yeah, I could see that just that coming out straight like you
okay.
normally yeah, just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So this is a fight that I know you and I haven't spoken about personally. And I'm kind of happy that you just brought it up because behind closed doors, I've been talking about it's an obscure heavyweight fight, right? And the odds on the money line don't look too tasty, but we're talking about Jarrell Miller versus Kingsley Abe, right? And I definitely think that Miller's going to get him out of there. Kingsley and people, I've been messaged by a couple guys in Kingsley's camp. Two guys, obviously I'm not going to say anyone's name, who might not be sparring partners, but have seen what's been happening. I guess this guy, a lot of people were taking that stoppage. That's why the odds are only at $1.97. Jerome Miller's style, we know how big he is a swarmer. We know that Abe, I think, look at his resume. The dude lost to a baseball player. People don't understand. Waldo Cortez Acosta, even though he fights in the UFC, he's coming off that win last week against Derek Lewis. He was a pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. He's a Dominican, gets into a fight, gets kicked off, starts boxing. His first or second pro fight was against Abe, and Abe lost. And that's just kind of a microcosm of who we're dealing with. Jarrell Miller, I think the method of victory by stoppage is just a foregone conclusion. You like him 1 to 3?
Yeah, that's why I'm leaning in this year. If I think it's gonna I'm trying to if I think it's gonna be a stoppage, I'm looking for it. I think like it's a mixed match fight. It's a showcase fight. Cause one thing I noticed
Yeah,
just on the business side, man, this is Miller's third Riyadh card. You know what I'm saying? He's
yeah.
getting
They're
he's getting favors.
they're shoehorning him. They're really because we know about everything that comes with him. A big old heavyweight who could his punching, everything that comes with him. He'll fail a drug test here and there. He'll talk some shit. He might try to steal your girl, like all that good stuff. It's good for the heavyweight division.
And eBay, if you look at his record in the last 11 fights, 10 of them he hasn't went past the third round.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been 10, has he?
No.
In his schedule, is this an 8 or a 10? I definitely don't see it going past the sixth.
Yeah, if you can get Miller 1 to 6, 1 to 6, I'm taking the definitely taking the under. Um, yeah, I think it's gonna be an early night. I think I don't. Yeah, I just think eBay is just it's a showcase fight for Miller.
Oh, he then fought Acosta again and beat him. So I guess that kind of negates my narrative there. But I have one of my boys out of New York who's a boxer. He I was kind of shocked how much he was talking to me about this fight because it wasn't on my radar until 2 days ago. And then, he left me like a 5-minute voice memo about this fight, about eBay's camp. He left me about another 4 minutes of why this fight gets stopped, why Jarrell wins within 6. He said the same thing you're saying.
hmm Yeah, that's something. Try to pull a value on. I see. We looking at value plays. Some that's kind of out there, but we just sprinkle. I like no throw that no distance on Zez and um Baral because I'm saying I know it's going to be a lot of fighting. You know,
See, Xander versus Barral. I like Xander on points there.
yeah, I would, yeah, I would take Zayas, put him in a parlay, but you just like I'm trying, like
Do you
it's
see Barral
possible.
being live?
I um I see him making Zayas increase his volume.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to let him just pop shot his way 12 round. I think Barak going to make him have to get him off of him, and Zayas maybe can. You know, I believe he lands clean. He has.
Yeah.
You know, I think Baral gonna be there to get hit. I think Baral is not gonna try to be safety first. He will go. You know what I'm saying? I think he would take a couple to so and I also think Baral gonna be on Zayas and bring things out of and maybe make him fold. So I say no distance. I like that one. No distance on Keyshawn and Jermaine. You know, I think that's gonna I think cause man Keyshawn stopped when he stopped Baranchik and Lamos.
Yeah.
That
So
really impressed me.
we'll get to that in a second, the Keyshawn fight, because I'm looking forward to talking about that one. The thing about Xander Zayas and Barral, the thing Barral does really well is, he likes throwing combination punches. He likes getting into the wheelhouse and fighting you in the pocket. That's something that Yanis Tejas wasn't able to handle. Tejas really showed his greenness with how uncomfortable he was. He was like, it was literally the saying, seeing a deer in the headlights. Tejas forgot he had feet. Tejas forgot he could use the ring. He just stood there and was punching with Barral. And I think what's one of the things Xander does really well is he uses his angles. He'll fight you at range. He'll use that jab, but when he's punching with you and he's trying to work the body, he'll angle you. He does it really. You could just see the hours and hours of a lifelong boxer drill. It's almost muscle memory for Xander. He's not going to punch with you and just get frozen. You know what I'm saying? He's going to punch and pivot out. The first thing they teach you when you're, drilling your combos day one boxing is you finish your combo with a left hand, you move left. You finish your combo with a right hand, you move right. And that, follow your punches. Xander does that really well. It's something Tejas wasn't doing. And I think that it really showed the levels of Barral versus Tejas. I think that's not going to work with Xander. And I think Barral's really tough, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, Xander's not the biggest puncher. It's not like he does one thing. One of the things I like the most about Xander is that he's not a front runner. He's not one of these guys that he does one thing really well and all of his fans love him because he's a knockout artist or he's the fastest, most athletic guy. He just is a very technical boxer puncher who manages range really well. That's another thing. I think he's going to use his jab and he's not going to allow a Bass to fight where he wants to fight. I think it could be a boring fight, like, for the casuals. I think this could be an easy points win for Xander. That's what I'm seeing on tape.
And it's like he sparred him. He know him very well. This could be in his in a sense Zayas breakout fight, a breakout performance. And also they in Puerto Rico. If he start landing a bunch of flurries, they might. And I said this is gonna. I
Oh,
don't.
that crowd, that ref might come here.
I can see that. Why I say. Why I say in a fight like this, well, will not going distance is so high. Yeah, I might sprinkle a little on Zayas by stoppage.
Plus 400, plus 400. I
No
mean, come on,
distance. I
what?
like to hedge my. I like to say no distance. If those out there, you, s- you see the favorite winning. Your favorite only
Uh,
got two ways to win. He only got two ways to win. Stoppage or this. So it's like just that's a fifty
that's good
percent chance.
strategy.
That's a
That's good
50%.
strategy. Notice, guys, every time Julius has been saying no distance, he's not picking one guy or the other. That's a good hedge. Just, in a fight, you said that earlier too. Like, the no distance on Kelly Murtazaev will probably be my hedge bet. I got Kelly already. That bet I put in on Monday, but the odds of that getting, Kelly's defense falls apart if he melts, if all these things are going to happen that the naysayers are going to happen, then I could still live with my bet not picking Murtazaev but take no distance. Could be a sneaky hedge. I'll have to check what that pays. Um, let's look at Keyshawn Ortiz. Did you watch the stare downs today?
Um, no, I watch. I did watch the live replay of them talking to one another. Jermaine
Like,
said it's not going to the judges.
and Keyshawn said the same. And look, psychology is a part of the game, right? I'm a fan of Keyshawn. I talked about it in my breakdown. I feel as fans, a lot of us were more like disappointed with how it all unfolded in Norfolk because what he was doing. He was on this upward trajectory, and boxing, I felt, at least American boxing, was getting ready to ordain him as the next guy. We know Bud was getting ready to fight Canelo in a couple months. Bud, was on the back end of the career. We know about the mentoring of Shakur as well. But Keyshawn had stopped Lemos. Keyshawn has stopped Baranchik. He started sitting on his shots and he was filling out. And we know the next step. You go home, you fill out your home arena. Bud did it in Omaha. That's the blueprint. Keyshawn was doing that in Norfolk. That was the blueprint. And when all of that, he misses weight and he gets pulled and he gets stripped. I was just more bummed out as kind of like almost you would be if your little brother gets caught smoking weed. He's like 12. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it has nothing to do with how he performs in the ring. People are like, oh, he fought 6 months ago. He's 26 years old. I don't expect any ring rust. And the gap from 35 to 40, it's 5 pounds. It's not like a bigger jump. I mean, 40 to 47, kind of a bigger jump. So I'm excited. I like Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn's going to cook. I think we're going to see vintage, like the continued evolution of him and I think the matchup is perfect for him. And I'm an Ortiz guy. I like how Ortiz operates. I just don't know if he's going to have the firepower to keep Keyshawn off of him. Once he gets inside, working the body, and once he starts fighting downhill, when Keyshawn starts going to the body, have fun. You know what I'm saying?
Not Keyshawn, man, is precise. He doesn't. One thing about Keyshawn's style that I feel like is probably the most efficient in boxing is that he doesn't need a lot of movement for either defense or offense. He knows how to create destructive power without. So he's always crisp, clean. Jermaine needs too much to get off offense. He moves so much to get off little. And Keyshawn, he plants his feet and he just hits crisp, clean punches through the guard. I mean, he destroyed Baranchik, and I'm gonna say Baranchik could beat Ortiz, and I believe Lemos would give Ortiz nightmares.
Two tough
Um,
guys. Legit. Baranchik was a legit champion, Olympian, part of the Ukraine lineage. Like Dennis
Undefeated.
Baranchik, yeah, Dennis Baranchik was no just scrub, washed up guy.
He went 12 rounds with Navarrete.
Yeah, no, the dude is a good. He's world class. I think what you said about Keyshawn, you know what he does? He has really good balance. His foundation. You never really see him out of position. You never really see him over punching. You never really see him reaching for things. Some guys are a little bit too aggressive to where they get out of position, they try to force things, and then they're getting countered, and then all of a sudden, you see game plans fall apart. You start losing rounds. Keyshawn, and it's where he's trending as a fighter, that confidence, the physique, growing into that build. I like the move. I like the move back to Norfolk, by the way. I like the fact that he had enough wherewithal around him to know, hey, let's go back to our roots. Let's go back to the team and the camp that is more like family that got us here. And I like that decision. So
Yeah,
do you are we both like Keyshawn on the money line? What's the sort of prop? Because look at the I've been really flirting with Keyshawn by stoppage here.
um,
Right now, it's plus 135 by stoppage, plus 125 on points.
uh, under 10 and a half. That's let's say I like to pick the most. I like to pick the value for least committal because, like I said,
The neutral picks.
it's neutral, but it gets you paid. You know what I'm saying? Picks
Oh no, yeah, no, it's you got your
under.
own strategy.
Yeah, under is I know plus money. Um,
Wow, plus
I see.
105.
Yeah,
So
something
what?
like that.
So let me ask you something. If you're gonna take the under at plus 105, and it's probably safe to say you're not saying Jermaine's gonna stop Keyshawn, why wouldn't you just take Keyshawn at plus 135 by stoppage.
Um, since I record a lot of fights, one thing is that I just saw it's just like it's a possibility, it's many
Okay.
possibilities, and I
Okay.
say
I see
he
that.
no contest. It could be because like I remember one time I lost a fight, I took him by stoppage, but
Oh shit! No
it was a
contest,
no
technical
no.
decision.
I,
So if it's a cut technical decision in the sixth, and you pick the under 11 and a half versus Keyshawn by stoppage, you would still hit the under, but you would lose on the stoppage.
yeah, and
All
it's
right,
like
and for what 25 extra cents to the dollar? All
yeah,
right.
because I remember like I'm gonna give you a play that I said. I remember I thought Catterall was gonna stop Harlem Eubank, but I said nah, just let me take no distance, and it ended up being they got the head cuts or
They
something,
clash sixth
and it's
round.
and it went to a decision. I said so at no distance plus 300 hit sometimes something like that. So yeah,
Ah, okay, man. That if you guys are tapping in at home, that is great free game. That's what I call free game. What Julius just get, he just put me on a free game. You literally just changed because what I've always done in that situation, and it's probably my nature as like a natural optimist or a hopeless romantic. When I'm doing my, decisive reasoning here, I would say, all right, it's an extra 35 cents for Keyshawn to get stoppage versus the under. I don't see Jermaine stopping him, so it makes sense. But until you bring up, hold on, there could be cuts. It could end early. This could happen. Some fuckery could happen. And if you took the under, it would still hit. So you just changed, for me personally, how I look at certain scenarios. Interesting. I like that, man.
because like I
And you
said, I
probably,
think
yep,
Ortiz he is a world class fighter.
yeah. He does a lot of things well.
If it's that kind of fight, I might hedge it. But like, if people say, "Well, you said, well, Miller versus eBay," I just think that's a slaughterhouse. If I think it's a slaughterhouse, I might Miller one to like. If I thought Adjit versus that Polish dude, slaughterhouse, Adjit 1 to
Yeah.
6. This ain't. I'm. It's only really ending one way. He ain't got.
Yeah.
He ain't.
Yeah. This is why I call Julius is Johnny Says Boxing, our VIP Discord, our secret weapon right here, boy. This dude's an assassin for real. Somebody earlier was like, why does he have the shades on? Cause he's an assassin. He don't need to show you his face.
well,
Y'all
I
better
got my.
chill.
I show my pictures on the Discord. You know what
Y'all
I'm
better
saying?
chill. I know. I like the shades. I used it in the marketing. All right, so covering a lot. We still got a lot to cover. I'm gonna pick one I want to ask you about. See where we stand. We talked about that. How about I do this level 2 membership. This one, the level 2 people ask me to feature fights. They once a month I do a stats don't lie. One of the fights is Yuri Cedeno versus Utundi William. Have you taped this? What's your thoughts on this fight?
No, okay. See, a Tunde. He is not a now. If we want to classify a fight, a Tunde is a high level journeyman, meaning that he know he's going to lose, and but he may win. But he know what he's there for. He's there to go the distance with a prospect. That's how he going to keep his money going. He's going to come there and go the distance with a steamrolling prospect. That's his objective. If he win, man, 100 times better. But if he, because that's what expected. Cedeno been knocking everything out. Dominican Olympian hasn't really had too much, and I would say him by decision over and what is given. I don't know. I haven't looked at the odds of that fight, but remember, just like the Israel's, okay. Atunde, he has international amateur experience. He went the distance with Troy Isley. He went the distance with other fighters before. He's never been stopped. He has power. I think yeah, we
Six
can
foot
say
one, 6'1" middleweight, southpaw. There's a lot to like about him on tape, and this is a good. You just hit the nail on the button about Etundi William. He knows what he's there for. The points right now, Yuri on is plus 195 on points, plus one or just $1.63 by knockout. So money's coming in, and I think a lot of money's coming in by the casuals, not really knowing about Etundi William, thinking that Yuri's just going to steamroll him.
Yeah, like I mean, like I said, he's from Brazil. Brazil, I do put credence in that making team Brazil and doing internationals. 90 million people in Brazil to make the international team is
Who's
no.
Brazilian?
He Atunde. He
Oh,
was
Tunde's Brazilian.
his story. Okay, he was born in Africa, but he moved to Brazil when he was younger, and he
Okay,
became a citizen,
I did not
and
know that.
and he was on the they team, their international team. He represented them, and yeah, he's a tough guy. The guy. A lot of South Americans are tough, man. They because they know that
I mean, some
they don't.
people say he beat Isley. Some people say he beat Isley and Barrega.
Yeah, I'm like I said, me, I taking the distance. That's the play. That's a plus money play. Like I said, I'm trying to give a plus money play. Be honest with you, to those with a bankroll, man, I could really help them guys. People, you got a real bankroll. I can give you plays for days, but I'm trying to give many plus money plays, plus opportunities I can. Cause man, I'm
Will the
just
fight go the distance? $1.50, like plus 150. Will the fight go the distance?
yeah.
You think that's the move?
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like it. Right there, guys. Right on spot. You know what I'm saying? My upload. I'll be uploading my breakdown prediction right after we do this live because I've already taped it, and I'll tell you who I'm taking. But I like this play better than picking a winner based on the odds. Because look, if you like Cedeno, and a lot of people like Cedeno, $1.09 isn't shit. Those odds are terrible. Why even play this? You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking for value in that bankroll, boy, plus 150, the fight to go the distance. I think that's the move. I think this might be the steal of the week. The fight to go the distance of all the fights
Um,
to see one of these guys get stopped. I don't know, man. I think they both make it through.
this is just like I have a math background. And the boxing odds just don't make any sense. I mean, just it has a 50% chance of going either way. So when you say that it's plus 400 either way, just on expected value, the concept of expected value, I'm expecting 50% either way. The fight can only end in two ways. It can either go to hit a final bell or it doesn't hit a final bell. So when you tell me one is plus 1,000, one is and another one is plus, that doesn't just mathematically make sense. That's an error in the odds. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to
I,
find error in the
I think
bookies.
Yeah, I think that's the betting accounts, the betting casinos way of making money off of the dogs. Because people who don't know boxing are gonna pull their app out. Oh, I might as well sprinkle. I could sprinkle $10 on an 8-1 and not give a shit if they lose. And if 10,000 people have done that, then I think it's a way of them baiting because some of these odds are insane. We say that every week. Speaking of insane odds, I wanted to. There's so many fights. The one. How about the return of Serhii Boachuk? Boachuk is fighting a guy named Butiev. Butiev is not quite on Monday. He was a 2-1 dog. The odds are kind of going a little bit more in Butiev's favor, but Boachuk is still the favorite. What do you see here?
Uh,
This is on the Zuffa card.
I recently learned that it's middleweight, so I said okay, because I mean I believe Bocho was killing himself to make
He hasn't
154.
made 54. I mean, he hasn't. He weighed in at 158 against Michael Fox, and that was
Yeah,
before Adams.
yeah. So I'm saying yeah, he been so I'm saying it being at 160, he know it count. But that fight he was supposed to be 154. He came in 158.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm
he
saying.
missed weight.
Yeah. So he know in this camp that he didn't have to make 160. Uh right now, I'm looking at Bootier never been stopped. He's a former champion. Um Boychuk been going the distance. Um well, have they dropped the distance? No distance odds.
Let's check. Will the fight go the distance? Yes. $1.82, so 82% return. No, 90% return. So not quite even money, but both very similar odds.
What is Bootier by decision?
Butiev on points is plus 390. So I took on Monday, guys. I Butiev on Monday on the money line at plus 390. And the reason why I did, and I put it up in our Patreon. It's up on YouTube for all the JSB insiders, guys. You could join our Patreon and our Discord. The link is pinned. It's a couple bucks a month. It's all the boys with the stars. We just hit over 350 insiders, by the way, on our Discord, so we're growing. But Boacek, to me, with that style, if we go back to Virgil, I just feel what I saw against Virgil, the style, he gets hit a lot. It's what he does. It doesn't age well. He's in his early 30s now. He's the trouble making weight from a strength and conditioning perspective, me as a coach, which, part of my business, that's what I do, is as we get older, our central nervous system changes. And especially with fighters, the more times you cut weight in your life, the harder it is to make. You mix that with trauma, any sort of trauma, inflammation in your shoulder, head trauma, it's harder and harder for the body to cut weight. It's a thing, right? You mix that with him missing weight, him that tough fight with Virgil, Michael Fox, a 147 guy, dropping him in the 10th round of their fight, in which he was picked as like a plus 150 to win by knockout. Like the knockout odds were so low. If anyone here took Boacek on points against Fox, what did that pay? I guarantee it was like plus 600, something crazy. And then Brandon Adams. Brandon Adams pulled out his belt. And at 36, 37 years old, Brandon Adams was the underdog. He was plus money against Boacek. So with all of this, I think that the swindler, Radzi Butiev, the swindler says, this is my swindler pick of the week. Swindling the bookies. I think the bookies have this wrong. I think Butiev is the livest dog. So also on a parlay, I have Butiev in plus money.
Yeah, I'll take Boutier money line. Everyone, if you just I say Boutier by decision. You want to get a little spicy, cause Sirha is that guy. He is a company guy.
Yep.
So he been on Fight Pass. He been with them.
Yep. He's the more marketable guy. He's the one who's been in the bigger fights. I just think though that like, did you see how you watched the Brandon Adams fight as well?
He washed them.
Bro, how much did he get hit though? You add and the thing is he's so tough for his own good. It's like all of a sudden within what, a calendar year, maybe a year and a half, he goes 24, 22 rounds getting hit with Virgil and Adams and Michael fought. Like it's just gone from knockouts to like lose a decision, win a decision, lose a decision. So where that's trending to me, when we're looking at value betting once again, I love Butiev at plus money. I think he's risked. I think he's worth the play here. I think he's super live. Um,
Yeah, I think Sirha is he's turning into a walking punching bag.
that's it, man. And we know in boxing, that style, man, it doesn't work. It works until it doesn't work. It's kind of like I won't say it, but how about Shushu? I think Shushu's in for a tough fight. I think these Castro odds are pretty disrespectful for Castro. What do you see in that fight, Carrington?
Um, I like Curtin by decision.
That's $1.94. Do you think that Castro's a 6-1 dog here?
Um, no, Castro is a world class fighter. He's been world. He went the distance with um what's that guy, the Mexican dude with the beard. He was a world champion. He went the distance with Fulton. He
Yep,
he,
folks.
he went the distance with early in his career a Filipino former champion. So he's a tough guy. He only been stopped once. And the Mexicans, man, they world class Mexican fighters are rarely stopped. If you just want to look at that, very
Yeah, they're
rare.
tough as nails. Tough as nails.
I'm not talking about a
Car-
Mexican journeyman. A Mexican
cardio,
dude.
cardio, endurance. They weaponize their cardio, volume, output, tough as nails. They're gonna be in your face. You got to bring your lunch pail. If you love boxing, like this is why it's easy for us on this channel to get rid of the casuals, because the casuals always try to play race cards and pit groups of people versus other people. It's like, nah. True boxing fans know that if you're coming from specific parts of the world, have specific styles, and world class Mexican fighters are going to be, like you said, tough as nails, durable, output, volume, weaponizing their cardio. I just think those odds are. I know people in our Discord who thinks Castro's live.
Um, over a 12-round fight, I could see Castro winning. I could see it being a 7-5 fight, be a close fight where some people gave some swing rounds. I could see a draw at play. I could, because I feel like, Carrington, to me, he's underwhelmed in his last couple fights.
What do
Severely,
you
come
think that?
say,
Yeah, yeah. So I want to show you something, and I want to see if it aligns with one of your systems, one of the strategies that you actually started this live stream with. When we look at Bruce Carrington, 16 total fights. He doesn't even have 100 pro rounds. He's only fought 94 pro rounds, right? In 2025, he only fought twice. So not even the most active guy. In his opponent, and mind you guys, he is a 6-1 favorite against a guy in Carlos Castro who has over 30 pro fights, almost 200 pro rounds. You see what I'm saying? Mexican fighter. The more I think about this one, and I'm a Shushu fan, I'm a Carrington fan. What's not to like about him? Marketable, nice guy. He's an ambassador of the game. Brownsville, New York, all of it, right? But once again, we're not here to fanboy fighters. This isn't a boxing fighter channel. We are a boxing fan channel. We're a fan of the sport. Carlos Castro plus 575. When you're saying this guy, he's only been stopped once, 30-3. Let's look at his resume real quick. 14 knockouts. 5'9", 70-inch reach. The Fulton fight, he dropped Fulton in round 5. He dropped Fulton in round 5, and that up until Steven getting, pretty much everything handed to him against Shock, Fulton was coming off that career rejuvenating performance against Fig. And then the Luna fight, he lost to Brandon Figueroa, Louis Neary, and Stephen Fulton. Those are all world champions. So I
yeah.
guess you got to ask yourself, is Castro fading? Is he not in his prime? Is it like the perfect time? Is he ripe for the picking sort of thing?
Well, I
Because with
just
this,
think,
because if Castro wins, mate, do we put this in the category of the Badargazi of Jazza? Or is Carrington past that? Past that
nah,
sort of.
nah, like I say, I was talking about fighters like literally under 7, 6, 7 fights. They've been
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah,
finished
yeah.
not even 10 fights. No, he's been in there. Carrington's been in there with some guys, some tough undefeated guys who believe they gonna win.
Yeah.
Sagawa, he been in there with that African guy he fought. Man, he
Matias
not
Hayda,
bad out.
Matias Hayda, Enrique Vivas, Suleiman Sagawa. He's been in there with some guys.
Yeah, he's had a tough fight. He's had some pushback. So I feel like, to me, Castro, what he's thinking, because he's been out the ring a while, and I'm about to bring in the money aspect a lot of people don't know about. Do we believe? That's how I'm viewing the fight. Castro, I believe, has not done well in boxing. If you ask him financially, he's not. He's
Yeah.
probably made very little. But what he's thinking about, saying, man, if I can go the distance with Carrington, man, if I can push Carrington, man, if I can come up here on this real high card, give him a tough fight, they'll call my phone back. So I'm thinking, like, I don't think Castro at 31 is thinking world champion. I mean, maybe I could be, but I'm thinking, like, he's like, man, I'm gonna give him a tough fight. That's the attitude I feel. I'm gonna give him a tough fight. I'm gonna
Julius out
make him
here
earn
dropping
it.
psychological, dude. You're out here dropping psychological perspectives. That's an angle, bro. It's a valid point. You're telling us what is Castro thinking coming into this, right? What does he have? So you're saying he could level up without winning. He could fight in a certain way where even if he doesn't win, he could put himself in a position to get the call back. What does that look like? Is that getting stopped in a firefight war, or is that being competitive in a close fight, losing on points?
Um,
Because I think Bruce
it's
is going to be aggressive this fight.
Yeah, I think no. Yeah, I think Bruce is going to come for the knockout like he did the last couple fights. But I think the more I watch boxing, it's like what category the fighter in. Does the fighter possess the abilities, the attributes, the knowledge to survive? Surviving a full fight is a skill in itself. Because I said a
This
lot
is
of
a
fighters
world
don't.
title fight. You know
Yeah,
that,
don't know how
Julius?
to clinch.
No one's talking about this is a freaking world title fight at 126 for the vacant, I think, WBC strap.
Yeah, I think Castro had a full count. I think he
Yep.
knew about this. He wasn't didn't get the call last week. And I think he's going to be in tip top shape. And
Yep.
Bruce, he hasn't shown world class power. He hasn't. He's won. Bruce is technical. He's
Sharp.
nice, crafty. I think he can win, but I don't. I think and this is the thing. When he wins by decision, he gonna feel like he's kind of lost. Cause like I feel like he's like, man, I gotta stop him. He's been looking for the stoppage. He was
Yeah.
plus 600 to get the stop. He was like plus 600 to go the distance with the African dudes. And then like they've been making this guy like he supposed to be knocking everything out. He
I
ain't
won
did
a
it.
lot of money on that fight. We were on this chat. We got receipts. We were like, shoot you on points at plus 5, 600 is the move. Because what he does is, and this is something that I feel you have to learn, you grow into as a fighter. We watch it with Hitchens. The greatest example of this is Hitchens versus George. Shushu hurt him, but it's like he'll hurt his fighters, he'll hurt his opponents, but he doesn't always press. He doesn't always pour it on. He'll hurt, and then he'll kind of just chill. He's a viral moment. Carrington is a viral knockout away from the same thing I said about if he goes out and stops Castro. Oh shit! Like we got one. You know what I'm saying? Then you put who are
That's
the
a
champs
sleep.
of 20? You got the champs. You got Angela Leo. You got Rafa Espinoza. You got Nick Ball. You got the winner of this fight. Could you, dude? Rafa Leo Carrington versus Leo. I would take Carrington in that fight. I'm an Angela Leo guy. I feel Leo's last fight, I mean, didn't really blow me away. Shout out to Pro Box though. And then Rafa's my favorite guy at 26. I love the way Espinoza operates inside the ring, and I love that contrast outside. He's like an altar boy. But you put Carrington a belt around him with the confidence of that killer instinct. I'd put Carrington in there with any of them.
Yeah, I think Carrington, he's okay, but I see him getting brutally stopped by Rafa. I think he's a top dog. As long as he can make weight properly, he at that
Six foot
size,
one. Six
he-
foot one, dude.
he's the tallest. And this thing that people need to question, need to think about this. This is a great fact about Rafa. The other weight classes, super feather, super welter, they're recent.
Yeah.
Featherweight has been around since the
OG.
1800s.
Dude, all the way back to like Henry Armstrong days, moving up from all the way. Dude, featherweight is an OG weight class. Armstrong might have been a 145er starting in 45. Maybe he was a
And
30.
he's the tallest featherweight in the history of boxing. That you can It's just that's just a phenomenal. To me, I think it's even wilder. Him at 6'1", then what's the name at
Fundora.
being
Fundora
6'1", and being 126, and,
is insane.
you cannot replicate. They're all 6'3", 154s, 164. But if you was to go on Box Rick and look at the top 50, the average height is probably like 5'5", 5'6". He
Yeah.
is something you cannot replicate. You just can't put. You can think all day, oh, I know what it's gonna be like. But when he's in there with them, with that
But
frame, you just can't.
and you mix that though with his style. It's not like he's using his frame and his jab to fight you at range. That dude is fighting you in the pocket and punching down at your ass. And then, dude, how he dismantled Edward Vasquez. Vasquez is a really tough guy, and he made Edward Vasquez look very basic. And Vasquez took a beating in that fight. And this is what Rafa does. The first fight against Robesi, the first fight against Ramirez, nobody really ever heard of him. You know what I
I
mean?
took him.
And then he's down, and then how he wins that fight, and then what the second fight looked like is a perfect example of what we're talking about. When you put a belt around a guy, you get that shine. It changes you a bit, confidence wise. I think that um Rafa's one of my favorite. I never miss a Rafa Espinoza fight. If I had to like list the handful of guys that I always tune in for. I mean, we watch every goddamn fight, but I'll watch Rafa like a fan of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because you punching down, like watching a guy punch down is shit you see in movies. You know what I mean? Like he's like, bah, 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 bah. It's a whole different thing.
But yeah, I
All
give
right,
him a
there,
year or two.
there's a whole thing. There, Rafa. What do you think about this question? Because I was getting asked it all week. It's a bit rudimentary. I mean, it really doesn't matter because we'll see. What's your take on who's faster, Teo or Shakur? And Ricardo, are you saying hand speed? Are you saying in a foot race? Or are you saying who has the better hand speed, Julius, Teo or Shakur?
I'm gonna go Shakur, but I think what people are meaning to say is no. He uh Shakur has the faster feet, faster hands, but Tio is more explosive.
Yeah,
Like Tio could jump higher. Like I believe Tio could jump higher.
same. Athletic.
Yeah, yeah, more. He could do a backflip. I don't think
Yeah,
Shakur could do
ex-
a backflip. But if you're talking about
explosivity.
moving hands, if you're talking
Yeah,
about moving hands,
yeah.
he's
Same,
no,
same.
no, not
This
not
is what
even
I said.
not even close.
Teofimo Lopez is the better athlete. He's more explosive, but but that's not boxing. In boxing, speed is hand speed and timing. I will take timing, world class timing over power. Shakur does these things, and it should not be lost that there are not many fighters in the world who could beat a guy who's a big puncher who's trying to take your head off with zero hands. Shakur, both hands are injured, totally negating De Los Santos's offensive arsenal. Say what you will about the performance. On paper, the history books show Shakur beat him. And then a swarmer, a guy who William Zepeda, the whole Mexican style. High knockout to win ratio, he drowns people. Volume, cardio. Shakur's not going to want to punch with him. Shakur's going to use the entire ring. Nope. Watch that fight. Shakur caught and shot him the whole time. Catch and shoot. Why? His timing, hand speed. Zepeda's holes in his offense too, and how he punches. I can see a body rip. I might play a knockdown prop in Shakur versus Teo. There's a knockdown. Like I could see a glove touch in the canvas.
One thing about Shakur, he's a fighter that, like I said, his style feel like is the greatest style. He doesn't need a lot of movement for defense. Literally, like to me, he's the best at it. He does he is almost impossible to get tired because what he's able to do, I haven't seen since Floyd Mayweather, to be honest with you. He's able to stand still and not get hit. He's able just to make a quick movement with both shoulders, head movement, and not get punched. He doesn't have to run around the ring. He could stand in front of you and just move just a slight bit, just a slight to the edge, so he can stay in that mode all fight. And his punches, he does not throw flurries. Every punch Shakur throws almost lands. He's a fighter is hard to prepare for. So I say I don't like the fighters who move a lot. I'm always going to bet against that style. The if you're fighting a power puncher and you move all
Like
fight, you're going
Josh
to.
Kelly, like Josh Kelly versus Murtazayev.
But Tio is going to stand. No, Shakur is going to stand there and move very little. But
Yeah.
you're not gonna hit him. To be honest with you, I'll be honest. I was talking to my dad about this. I said if he wins, to me, because even Floyd by this time he had question. He had been hurt in fight, been cut. He had been rocked. I haven't seen Shakur in perfect. I watched every Shakur fight. I have not seen him visibly hurt. It's almost remarkable when I really sit back and think about it. I watched every single fight from his professional debut to now, and I can't say one boxer has made him really uncomfortable. I can't say that.
No,
He
you
never had a
can't.
scar, bruise. He's
Cut,
the
swelling,
only
nothing.
nothing.
The, the,
It's
the most bored guy in the boxing stadium is his cut man. He never gets to do anything. Does he even have a cut man? You know what I'm saying? Like he no end swell, nothing, nothing. Shakur is a joy to watch, mate. If like some of my favorite fighters, when I think about southpaws growing up, I talk Pernell Whitaker, defensive minded, Paul Spadafora, defensive minded, but like when you're looking at like Shakur Stevenson, he's almost how he moves, his mobility. It's effortless. Nothing's forced. Everything seems planned. He's never. I'd like to see him in a dogfight. I'd like to see him have to go to a plan B. I'd like to see him fight out of a hole. I'd like to see if. Could you imagine how endearing that would be to the boxing fans if Shakur has to pick himself off the canvas and then has to fight out of a hole and then uses that? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why fans loved Arturo Gatti. This is like why certain boxers become sort of called heroes, because of the story within the story. He's so good, it hasn't happened. Nobody has challenged him on that end.
I took Cepeda. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I said
You
reason
took
why
Zepeda.
I
Oh,
took
the
Cepeda. I
truth
said
comes out. The truth
I'll be
comes
honest.
out.
It's on check. I took Cepeda. I said, man, 100 punches per round. Is
Crazy.
he's going to land something. And
Something.
William Cepeda was a Mexican team Mexico was not no slouch. Young
Dog.
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 And
Zepeda's a
he
dog, dude. Don't let people lie. Zepeda's legit.
don't know. Cepeda could be a champion. He
Yeah.
could not land. He could not land. And Shakur stood right in front of him with the highest output boxer in the sport. And he could not land. His movement, and I say, man, Cepeda couldn't land. Tio ain't landing, man. He's not. That's why I say the best Tio could do is just make it extremely negative. Well, in a fight, because one thing Shakur he has not done is at world level. Well, you could say with Jamel Harris, the last time he did it,
He
well,
took his
he
belt.
was
He took his belt.
on the front foot, coming forward, throwing power punches. He hasn't done that since the Jamel Harris, and before that, it was
130.
the only performer he was coming out ready. But he
130
just
pounds.
stands there. He just stands there like a statue. It's almost
Yeah.
like a statue. You think he's a statue, but you throw a punchy move and just stay
Yeah.
and get right back in the posture. Throw another punch, move just a slight. He doesn't run, doesn't. A lot of fighters. One thing they always just herk it, jerk it. What I'm saying, Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly. What I'm saying, he gonna do this all. You're going to get tired. You're going to slow down.
It's not an efficient style. It's not that. That's it. But that's why I feel Josh has made the biggest adjustments. He's gotten way more efficient with his energy output. You have to conserve, and Ray Robinson taught him that, and obviously Ava taught him that. I think with Teo, what it's going to look like I said, I think Teo is going to try to play the game in the pocket. He's going to realize that he's going to be outclassed with punch selection, punch placement, and speed. And I think Teo's going to start moving and using the ring. I bet you it's Teo on his bike. I don't see Shakur being on his back foot. Teofimo Lopez, this version of him, I mean, I haven't really been that impressed with. I mean, even rewatch the Arnold Barboza Jr. fight. People acted like he totally whitewashed Arnold Barboza Jr., who doesn't do what I like Barboza Jr., but he's not a fast guy, not a big puncher. Wins a lot of close fights. He was getting touched in that fight. He wasn't. In certain instances, that whole card was weird. I think Teo's a level below Shakur with boxing skill. It's called boxing. From a boxing perspective, I think you're going to see it. I think it's going to be a clean victory. I don't think
The
I don't
only
think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be close, man. I see a unanimous decision.
the only thing I question about it, yes, the same as Floyd Mayweather. But I say that I feel like even if Shakur, we say the worst case scenario for Shakur, this is the worst case scenario. People in the chat already know what I'm talking about. He break his hand.
Hmm.
I don't see him getting hit. So I'm saying,
Hmm.
even if he was to break his hand,
Hmm.
I think he could make it so negative where he lands one or two punches around and win.
De Los Santos, we saw that.
So that's why I say even if he break his hand, I say
But
okay,
Teo's not an aggressive puncher. Teo's not a front foot fighter. It's not like he's pressing the. It's not like he's going to be pressing the action.
he's not high volume and he's only got one knockout at 140 and it was against a journeyman. So I'm
Yeah,
saying he went to this with Claggett. Yeah,
I get one rounds
this
in that fight.
Claggett lumped his face up.
Yeah, Jermaine Ortiz, the Jermaine Ortiz fight, like I, yeah, I've never been one of these guys. Like Teo, he's done a lot in the sport. He's fought a lot of good guys. I don't know, man. I think he's a level below Shakur Stevenson from boxing skills. From a boxing skill set, that's fine. Not everybody's the best in the world. I am placing. I look at Shakur as a Hall of Famer, though. I think you could be. I think he's a defensive savant. You don't have to be a knockout artist and be the best in the world defensively to be a Hall of Famer. He doesn't get touched. His feet, his placement of shots when he throws punches, his efficiency. Is there a more efficient puncher in terms of like what he wastes versus what he lands? So yeah, I see it's an easy win for Shakur Stevenson. I don't think it's a tough fight.
If he wins tomorrow in the fashion that he's done in previous fights, I say he's arguably the greatest. Because I said, you know, I said to be
The
four
greatest
division.
ever?
I'm appealing on this. If you look at Floyd's career, for him to get to four division champion, he was in some tough fights. He was in questionable fights. He had got hit.
Hmm.
He did not come unscathed like Shakur. Shakur, four divisions in, finna be his fourth division, has not faced no adversity. Nobody's been able to, like I said, he doesn't even need a cut, man. And it's well,
I know, I know. Doesn't even need a cut, man. So can Shakur cut the ring off? It's not the style of fight that he fights. It's not like he's going to be an aggressive uh, front foot. He's going to be like a boxer puncher, defensive minded in this fight. It's going to be Teofimo Lopez who's going to have to make adjustments. Um, every boxer should be able to cut the ring off. I mean, don't ask Canelo against William Skull. But did you tape William Skull versus Jacob Bank?
um, yeah, like I said, I don't really watch too much tape. You know, this might be a surprise. I
But
rarely watch tape.
I mean, when I say that, have you looked into it? Do you have your eyes
Yeah,
on that fight?
yeah, yeah. You know,
What's your take on Skull versus Bank?
my tape on this skull is that to me, he arguably lost to Shishkin, and I think he got a gift decision in Germany. I watched that fight. I don't think because school moves a lot. He doesn't. He does move a lot. I
Yeah.
do. I can see a scenario where, like I said, he got two judges. I'm taking the distance. That's not really a good play, but I just
You're just taking the
it's
distance.
in Denmark. Yeah, I've never. I'm look, man. I've been. I don't know about you, me and you, man. The check. I've watched boxing like everywhere, like, and I've never seen a fight broadcasted in Denmark. Maybe it has, but I know.
I
Like I
remember
say, I
one
have a
guy.
database.
There was a
Mikhail
guy that
Kessler.
fought. Was Mikhail Kessler? But wasn't he German?
No, he was German,
Was
but
he
he was a Danish citizen. He's the last
okay?
fighter, and that was all the way back. I remember
The
I
middleweight
heard.
tournament, like
Yes, when he
2008. Yeah,
fought Carl Frog in
Carl,
Denmark. And
Arthur Abraham days.
yeah, he has there has not been a professional boxing match to this of any level in Denmark in a decade. That's
That's
got me.
insane.
I'm very skeptical of things like that. And two of the judges from Denmark, most of the times in a professional fight, even in UK, they give the resemblance of a fair fight. They might say he's from Germany, he's from Russia, even though they live in UK, but they'll just say, okay, we in UK, but we're gonna have a Russian judge, German judge, American judge. To have three judges and two of them are from Denmark. That's just I don't know. I'm like, and
Yeah,
when I've
it's
seen
tough.
some atrocious cars. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
said, if anything, he's a young guy. It's like everything's there to rob school. Really, why I say my players know this because I play school. Because if school has any sense in his head, he's got to go for the stoppage. Like
yeah,
it's no way you could like. Come on, man. Like, I know somebody. His team has brought this. Like, bro, we finna go to Denmark. They never had a level fight. Two of the judges there. You gotta take us out the judge. Like, come on, like what? This just the appearance, the history of boxing, knowing how crooked it is, to have that appearance, man, is you know what I'm saying? It's, because even like when if you in a lot of the American fights in Puerto Rico, Mexico, like if you look at the Matias Pyro fight, only one judge is from Puerto Rico. They have two others from other places, so it gives the
yeah.
resemblance of a fair fight,
So you
but
think
it
this is
does.
a this is a so Jacob Bank, if you guys don't know, he's a very athletic fighter. He's kind of like a low grade Josh Kelly, hands down reflex guy, jumps in and out, 17-0, 9 knockouts. William Skull, people only know him as Canelo, but 400 amateur fights, Cuban style. He calls Germany home. So it's not like he's a foreigner. You know, Germany and Denmark not that far away from each other. Um, I think Skull. I think this is easy money, William Skull, in terms of like skill. Will the that's something you got to ask yourself. Tommy Randone always says when you're betting your money, you got to think about the politics of boxing. And Julius, you bring up a good point. Two of the judges are Danish. Uh I might leave Mr. Skull off the parlay. I think I do have him on points at plus 145 on a ticket. But you like the stoppage plus 340.
Because I'm like, because in my mindset, for him to take the fight under these circumstances,
Yeah.
he must think
Okay.
this is. He must believe this is a. This is not a. He must like look. Is laugh at Jacob Bank. You know what
I
I'm saying?
think so.
For you to put yourself in this position, a lot of boxers wouldn't do this. They wouldn't. A
Skull's
lot of
big too.
boxers. And School's a big name. You know what I'm saying? He coming
Yeah.
off a Canelo fight. He coming off the cash cow, right? That's what I'm saying.
Physically bigger. He's gonna have the size too. So you're saying stoppage plus 340. Does Skull have it in him to operate that way? But you're saying if he wouldn't have taken the fight, it's an interesting one. This is a fight
Right?
I've had a lot of people text me about.
Who is Bank? You know, I mean, Kieran Bank has not shown anything. I mean, Bank is,
Nah,
in boxing, you know, if you notice this, he got a lot of hype jobs, man. That's a real, it's not a
it's
disrespect.
part of the game. It's part of the game, right?
It's a business, and you
Yeah, it's a
need,
business.
and these people need money, man. They need to promote themselves. And it's like, he could, it's always a guy in boxing who just, he's built up and he gets seriously found out. To what degree? This could to me the play I'm taking is no distance. I just on that's like plus 200. I feel like for Skull to put himself in this position, he must know something. He must really believe that I could just go in here and completely just demolish this dude. You know, he been in the ring with Canelo. He did beat Shishkin, but I
Oh,
feel
thank God.
like, you know, man, he's from Denmark. What, like I said, we don't, what's been going on? What kind of boxing you got there? It's not a dish, but some part, like, be real, man. I'm from Alabama, man. We don't play soccer, like, so the best soccer in Alabama is not even the top million soccer players on earth. We just don't do it here. It's just another level. Like, if you took the worst soccer player in England and brought him to Alabama, he would dominate. He would be Ronaldo. He would be you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you the best boxer in Denmark, but what does that even mean? We bringing you a Cuban Olympian. He's a
Yeah,
Cuban Olympian who went 12 rounds with Canelo. Like, this could be just
yeah.
a,
No,
routine
I like it.
beatdown.
Guys, we're almost an hour 20 in. We're floating between 60 and 80 on this live stream. Could you remember to hit a like, also subscribe, join our Discord. Julius is a JSB insider. I call him Mr. Sharp. His takes are off the hook. He's our secret weapon. Guys, there's so many fights this weekend. In an hour and 20 minutes, we haven't spoken about Adamas versus Ammo. So, what's your
Yeah,
take? How crazy?
man,
We didn't even mention Adamas versus Ammo. This is a
I
world
like you.
title fight.
What's the name is a weird dude, man. You know what I'm saying?
Who?
He is this,
Who's
I ain't trying to ammo. He is not the typical guy. He's not high. He says a lot of words with saying nothing. You know,
He's a
he just,
weird. He reminds me of like a low grade EJ. He reminds me kind of like a lower middle school Errol Spence.
I don't know. You seen the? I seen his part of the press conference. I was like, what is this guy talking about?
I didn't see it. What did he say?
He said he was like, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm gonna put on the greatest master performance of all time. Then he had a prayer with the everybody. He's like, God, finna do this thing, you know what I'm saying? He said, what he said, I'm an artist. I like to do artwork. I'm like, man, you was talking like this when before Hamza beat you down. That could just be like, man, he nervous, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I feel like this could be one of those fights where on paper they saying this, they say, I'm like, I don't know, man.
I think Adamas is clearly a few levels above Ammo Williams. I don't think this fight's going to be competitive at all. And I think Adamas. I mean, I'm probably gonna. I got Adamas obviously. If you watch my breakdown, I don't mind Adamas by knockout either. I don't think Austin Williams has the defensive pedigree. I don't think he has the offensive setups. I think he's one-dimensional. I don't think he hides any of his openings. And I think Carlos Adames is a legit world champion who's been around for a while, seasoned. I thought he was way older than what he really is, and I think he's in his prime. I rate Adames. I thought he beats Hamza 8-4. I don't even think that fight was close, especially from round 5 onwards. And I first heard of him back in 2017 when he was a 147 guy sparring Bud Crawford, and I remember putting an asterisk by this guy. And I was like, "Who the hell is this dude?" Fucking, and I think Bud was fighting at 40 at the time, and you've seen the footage. It was the footage of them sparring that went viral. But I don't think I'm actually more impressed that Austin fought his way into this fight. I thought he struggled with Patrice Volney. Patrice Volney, is a Canadian fighter who's long, kind of tricky, but like he didn't really look that convincing against Patrice. And then the Hamza stoppage, I think Carlos is going to shine here.
Yeah, the face of Dominican boxing. I think again on the New York card, there's a lot of Dominicans out there. That's probably why it's sold out. I really like how they got a Puerto Rican fighter, an Ortiz Dominican fighter. They got
Flavorful up there. Flavorful
Miller,
up there. I love it.
Miller, and Shushu from the hood, and they from Brooklyn.
Brownsville.
Yeah, you know.
Brownsville in
Oh yeah,
the
both
house.
of them
Let's
from
go.
Brooklyn.
Let's
You got
go.
you got T.O. from New York. You got Shakur from from
Newark.
got a Mexican underdog gonna bring it. So I feel like I see how I also look at
Yeah.
the promotional
Yep.
side of boxing, the business side, and I feel like this is a fight to make Adames shine. You got a guy who's young, brash, talks a lot. So when he gives him a beat down, oh man, you beat down that young guy. You know what I'm saying? But
The
it's like,
politics of boxing.
I'm gonna keep real her, man. They don't, man. A lot of these guys, man, boxing. Like talk about the business side too. If you're looking at Amo's career, let's keep it real, man. He's a guy who dropped out of school. No, he didn't do my bad. Not the typical story. He's a guy. Well, he was in college. He dropped out of college and picked up boxing. And he could say, man, I was in a championship fight. Didn't really have an amateur career. Picked up gloves and when he was like, he said 19. Went to a gym 10 years later, fighting on a pay-per-view card. He so
Good
and it's
story. Good
man,
story.
great story. He could say, man, came from nowhere. I fought a guy who was a Dominican Olympian, fought all around the world, face of Dominican boxing. I was in there with him, And hey, man, Hearn got me there. Hearn took me off the streets and got me there. That's how I kind of, what I'm saying? A lot of times, that's how fights be, man. It's like, hey, man, we're trying to get you into a money fight. Ammo, what else you gonna do? Ammo, man, keep it real. And a lot of these guys know who they are, man. He's a tough dude,
Yeah. Athletic
tough
dude.
athletic, gritty dude who will raise his hand. But
You know what's
nothing
crazy? You know what's crazy is
knows that.
Austin Ammo's 29. Adames is only 31. That's insane to me. Adames feels like he should be 40. He's he's not that old. He's in his prime. Adames and I love these odds. Plus, Adames by stoppage because Ammo's brave. That's exactly what you said. He's a brave athlete, a lot of pride. He fights very determined. He's a determined guy, doesn't have many setups, drops his hands. Dude, there's slow motion videos where you watch his tape and he's leading with his head like this. His punches are here and he's leading like that. And I think when you're going against a very skilled, seasoned, classy world champion like Carlos Adames, I think he's gonna break him down. I like a late stoppage here. Mid to late. I could see mid to late.
So you'll say Adames 7-12 or
I,
Adames 1-6.
I like 7-12. I like 7-12. Just based off of what we've seen in the past. When did Hamza get ammo out in the 11th?
Mm,
Yeah,
11.
he's dirt. He's a tough, strong, hungry kid. He's Carlos is gonna have to beat it out of him. Like ammo's coming in. I mean, mentally at 29, piss and vinegar. Carlos is gonna have to beat it out of him. I think he's gonna frustrate him with his class, his technique, and I think then he's gonna force Austin to go for broke. I could see him finding the openings. I really rate Adames, man. I like his technique, and I like how he could be aggressive. He could counterbox you. He could use the whole ring. He could be defensive minded. He does a lot of things good, man, and he can punch. People don't talk about Adames, and this is a conversation not a lot of people want to have in boxing, but I think it's a fair point. Imagine if Adames was bilingual or spoke English, considering the mass numbers of where the sport is being aired, pay-per-view, American viewers, etc., versus like how Xander Zayas speaks both English and Spanish, and he's marketed. Like, I think sometimes fighters will get like, don't get the credits they deserve because, he's Dominican. But I rate him, man. Adames is one of these guys that has been on the scene for a while. I think I mean, hats off to Austin getting a world title fight again. Is it?
Now, I would say last fight, we could talk about that. I think is it was Sunday. We talk a little about what's your thoughts? I haven't. If you look at this fight, what's your thoughts on Rayo versus?
bro,
He going back
right?
down to 135.
And is he still? Did he stay with Garcia? Is Ryo with RGBA?
I don't think so.
Okay, because let's find this out. There are questions. There are questions. The fight is totally flying under the radar. He signs with Zuffa. We know the last time we saw him, Gary Antoine Russell beat him pillar to post, and we've seen him win. He's lost what, 2 in a row now,
No,
or he's lost
no.
3 out of his last. He's lost 3 out of his last 4, right? Are you talking about Rayo
Yeah,
Valenzuela?
he lost. Yeah, you're right. No, yeah, he lost 2 out of the last 4. He got brutally stopped by the Santos. He lost against Cobra. He won. There's an L. He took a.
Yeah, so I think those odds are mighty disrespectful. I want to check real quick who he's trained by.
Oh yeah, I'm back. Had a phone call, but yeah, yeah. I just he moving back down because I remember him saying he
He's
couldn't.
with Robert Garcia. He was with my bad. He was with Benavidez up in the Pacific Northwest, and then he left Benavidez Senior to go with Robert Garcia. And I remember because Robert Garcia, super
You
respected.
hear me?
But in between rounds, if you watch the fight with GAR, he didn't really have much. Like, that beatdown was so one sided. It's very rare you see a Robert Garcia corner with not a lot of answers. You know what I mean? It was like tough it out. There weren't. I mean that's how great GAR fought. So he's with Garcia. He's a 5-1 dog, or he's a 5-1 favorite. Diego Torres Nunez. So let's see Rayo. You guys got to be in your 40s to compare that fight. But yeah, De La Hoya had power. I'm a big De La Hoya fan. I'm 43. I'll be 44 in April. You guys got to be in your 40s to compare that fight. But yeah, De La Hoya had power, and I was sad when he lost. Are you talking about De La Hoya versus Trinidad? I love that fight. Dude, De La Hoya took his foot off the gas in that fight. I remember that. Well, I was a junior in high school watching that fight at Jeremy Gray's house party. So I will wait. I think Julius his line dropped. I'm gonna stay on. Uh, I De La Hoya was up, and then he cruised. He thought he was winning that fight, and I won money. Damn, I've been betting for a while because I was 17 betting money on that fight. I guess I missed a comment. But guys, I'm gonna bring up Rayo Valenzuela. He's a 5-1 favorite. He's 14-3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's lost 3 out of his last 5 fights. He's fighting a guy, Diego Nunez, who's 22-1. 28 years old. Azabache. His only loss is to Morataya. Good resume. It's a tough fight. I think Rayo's going to be his aggressive self. And I like Rayo there. I do have Rayo there. Teofimo is Trinidad. Shakur's De La Hoya. Nah. No way. De La Hoya. I mean, Oscar De La Hoya is one of my top favorite, probably top, personally as a fan. De La Hoya is one of my top 5 favorite fighters. Talk about action-packed, really embracing that Mexican style, would fight everyone. How many divisions did he win world titles in? 6? I think De La Hoya might be the only, what they say, Manny, 8 divisions. Oscar might be the only 6th division world champion. People forget because you know how time just flies and social media really wasn't around. Watch Oscar De La Hoya's tape. One of the greatest to ever do it. Thanks, Jay, for your time. Everybody, give a round of applause for Julius from Alabama. Jay is our secret weapon. He is Mr. Sharp. He is JSB Insider's assassin. Appreciate you, brother. I'll message you. Guys, virtual hug.